Had a few questions about randomization, what that means. So, if you're looking on this document, some people, so there's a question here. How can I use randomization to reduce bias and order effects? So, what that question is asking about is, let's imagine you have an experiment like this. The number of jumping jacks is being varied at a constant rate, so 20, 40, 60, 80, 100 jumping jacks. That's 5 levels of treatment here. And then I've got it set up so I got 5 different trials for each treatment. So this is your sort of kind of standard minimum expectation for sufficient data. 5 different levels of treatment. That's the independent variable. Notice it's my first column in the spreadsheet here. And then 5 trials for each treatment. So trial 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for this treatment. So this is treatment level 20 for jumping jacks, treatment level 40, 60, so on and so forth. And so you can see I've got basically a total of 25 trials here. The idea of randomization in the collection of data is to prevent any kind of sequencing of the trials having an effect on the data collection. So let me give you an example. If you were to imagine conducting this experiment where you do 20 jumping jacks for trial 1, you rest, your heart rate comes back down, you do the second trial, you do the third trial, rest, fourth trial, rest, fifth trial, and then it's on to the next level of treatment. 40, trial 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then you're on to the next level of treatment, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so on and so forth. By the time you get to this 5th trial for the 5th level of treatment, this level of treatment, you've done all of those previous trials, especially if you're doing this in a day. By the time you get here, you're going to have done hundreds of jumping jacks. So is it fair that all of the trials for this last level of treatment happen when you are most tired? That is introducing an additional variable, which would be fatigue. So it's not going to be fair to compare this trial to that trial if here you're totally fresh and here you're totally tired. So a better way to do this is to randomize the order of all of these trials. Easiest way to do that is with our trusty website, random.org. So how do we actually use this website? And this is the type of thing that you need to communicate in your own method so that other people know how you've randomized it. The simplest way, it might depend on the number of trials and treatments you have and things, but so sticking with this example, imagine that I've got 25 trials and I can just, in my head, number these trials 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and so on and so forth. And so this would be the 25th trial. This would be the first trial. This would be trial 6, 11, so on and so forth. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a list of numbers 1 through 25 and generate a sequence. And that sequence is going to be the order of trials that I conduct. This is much better than even doing one. You could do, for example, this trial, then this, then this, then this, then this. But that still is an order. And true randomness is going to be more fair. So if we go to scroll down here to a sequence generator is what I want. So I'm going to input into this how large my sequence is going to be. So the smallest value is 1, and my largest value is going to be 25 in this case. The format, whatever, I'm going to get the sequence, and it's going to spit out this order of trials. And so that now I know this is how I'm going to conduct my trials. So my first trial is going to be trial number 12. So if I go back to my spreadsheet, remember 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Trial 12 is this one. So I'm going to do 60 jumping jacks. I'm going to record it, and I'm actually going to put it right in that box. Then it would be on to trial number 18. So I would look, and this is trial 5, 10, 15, 16, 17. This is trial number 18 right here. So I'm going to plug in that value for my heart rate. Okay, so this is just the order of events. I hope that helps you randomize your experiment. Just one final thought is, like, another reason we randomize, not just the fatigue factor, but in some cases, there could be an effect over time where, for example, you get better at the technique of doing the experiment. So like if you're doing your final treatment, it could be that you are now more consistent in the recording and measuring of heart rate because you've practiced it essentially 20 previous times. So now the final 5, you could see some effect where maybe these 5 trials are really consistent. You might see that as lower standard deviation because you got so good at taking the data well. Whereas in the first treatment, if you don't randomize it, maybe you'll have these large standard deviations here because you're inconsistent in your timing, in the measuring, and whether you're sitting or standing, and you haven't yet figured it out, and then you got better. So randomizing is a way to help kind of make it more fair by sort of distributing some of those things throughout across the different trials so that one treatment doesn't benefit or get harmed unfairly. Okay, so I hope that helps you with randomization and reducing bias in the design of your experiment. Bye.